Holy shit! Black Friday just hit, and if you're anything like me, it was a lot of fun. That being said, let's get into it, because we got a lot to talk about today. So roll that beautiful intro. Let's go! Yeah. Black Friday. Boom! Don't forget to like and subscribe. Okay, so let's get to it today, because this is big and we don't need to spend too much time burying the lead. Black Friday this year, consumers spent in America $9.8 billion. And on Cyber Monday, that number went over 12.5, totaling over $21 billion. I don't know if I said million before, but I meant to say billion. It's with the B. Billion. That is the single biggest grossing weekend in buying behavior in history. Now, this really has three things that we need to unpack today. First, this is a massive validation of the insights that we saw and we talked about in our last episode regarding the impact on the recession potentially in the United States and how maybe that's not actually going to happen. We've kind of gotten over the curve. Second, this is pointing to something much bigger. And I do think it was Harvey at Shopify that said this, so if I'm misquoting, forgiveness, please. But Black Friday is a season. It is not a specific day. And one of the data points that I want to point to biggest on this, and this is amazing, is that Q4, the entire quarter, basically starts somewhere around late October. We see effectively a week-over-week rise in revenue, and we're gonna see a bit of a drop-off. But the drop-off that we will see over the next week or so will be accompanied with an even bigger lift in overall volume. What's really important here, though, is the valley between those two peaks is the highest it will ever have been, and is much bigger than we saw in Q2 and in Q3. Basically, consumers are spending money. The economy is rebounding. And if done properly, this is not a big day. And shout out to those that decided to not just surf their budgets on cost caps and ASC to chase the best ROAS intraday. Shout out to the individuals who, there are far too many tweets to quote here, but you know who you are, that said your best ads were your evergreen ads, that decided to not abandon your evergreen efforts. Maybe you bolted other things on top of it, but you made the distinction and the choice to not invest heavily with the highest CPMs, to buy the customers who are most price conscious, because you wanted to invest in quality of customer, knowing that instead of getting all the money today, you can get 3 to 5 times more money by letting that play out for the rest of the year. Most of the brands that I know that have done this didn't really pull back after Black Friday on their evergreen efforts at all. In fact, they're projecting 2x daily spend revenue from the week leading up to Black Friday to what their normal daily spend will be in a week from now. And this will continue to rise through Q1 until the beginning of the summer. Because Q1 is a massive time for Facebook, and it happens every single year. And it's kicked off with Q5. Which really brings us to the last point I want to talk about today. You're gonna see a lot of people talking about a lot of things over the next few weeks, but don't forget about Q5. Q5 is basically the week or two after Christmas Day. Often in some countries that use the metric system known as Boxing Day, and the 2 weeks after that. Here's why it's tremendously important. We have greater buying power during that time as individuals to spend our money on aspirational items. What that really means is we have fewer things competing for the money that we've earned for us to spend money on ourselves to buy the lifestyle or whatever decision we want for ourselves. And what this really tends to translate to is much higher AOVs that roll into Q1 where CPMs on the platform drop dramatically. And at that point, the willingness for people to try new products is a lot higher. CAC, along with CPMs, will drop off of a cliff. And this is why if you planned it properly, what we talked about on this channel 2 months ago, 3 months ago, about planning your Black Friday, Cyber Mondays as being premium bundles so that you're not getting in the way of your evergreen efforts. It means they're continuing to use that cash flow to fund your business as usual so that you can buy better and better cash flow cycles with better and better quality of customers into Q1, where you can buy more and more of it for even cheaper, so that when summer comes around next year, you're not complaining that
my CAC has risen, I don't know what to do.
Because you've spent that entire time building up an entire warehouse of customers ready to buy a second or a third time. And because you've been spending all this time acquiring the same types of customers, the data set that you have with which to make optimizations to their second purchase rate and the conversion rate on that initial transaction, well, that's gotten a lot better. So what we're gonna see is as CPMs drop and as the consumer resistance to trying new products drops and as the consumer interest in buying for themselves goes up, your ability to get the sale and to turn that sale into future revenue is also going to improve. This is what Black Friday does for us. Ultimately, massive win as a cash flow improvement device, as long as you've made the decision to not spike your budgets running discounts on ASC and cost caps, which basically mean you've made the decision to not cannibalize your data set, because Facebook's a machine learning algorithm, to run a discount so you buy a whole bunch of really bad customers at a lower margin, at a higher volume, which massively pollutes your data set, just so that you can clear out your funnel so that you can spend Q1 trying to recover from the damage you've done. Instead, you use this as an opportunity to acquire even higher value customers and consolidate your marketing efforts so that when Q5 hits and when Q1 hits, you have a much larger mountaintop with which to begin even greater efforts. And by the time next summer happens and those CPMs and those CPAs and that CAC rises, you're not talking about audiences and cost caps and Advantage Plus and any of these vanity metric hacks. You're talking about how do we best extract revenue from our existing customer base on a blended CPA fashion so that we can ultimately mature the opportunity we've gotten, the kinetic energy of the cash flow cycles that we've invested in acquiring over the last 6 months. That is how you make a ton of money. And people that tell you to run Facebook ads by scaling off of vanity metrics with funnel shrinking devices like surfing off of ROAS with cost caps and ASC, they're setting you up for failure. And if that's what you did, you can abandon it right now. You do not have to continue going down that road. And what I would ask myself right now, if I'm in the decision of what do I need to do, understand what is most valuable to you. What is your definition of success? Do you want to go from 500 a day to 5,000 for a week and then start all over and then hopefully get back to 1,000 or 2? Or do you want 5,000 a day to be your new normal that you see every single day and is actually the basis of your business next month? Because that is on the table if you start to prioritize Facebook as a business model amplification device, not as a vanity metric performance device, so you can ultimately give your money to somebody else so that their report looks good at the expense of the future of your business. There's a reason that nobody on Shark Tank or Dragon's Den ever gets a deal when they say their ROAS is X. And no shark or dragon has ever asked, what's your ROAS? There's a reason why what matters is customer acquisition cost. What does it cost to produce a product? What is the lifetime value? How many times do people buy? When does that buying happen? Businesses don't run on the vanity performance metrics of Facebook. They run on cash flow at a profit. Black Friday has been a massive boost to basically everyone that I know, but to be fair, there are a lot of folks where it didn't work out for them. And there are a lot of folks that are gonna celebrate massive days on Black Friday that might not be in business come Q1. And for those folks, I want to say this. Not everyone's guaranteed as a win, but there are 2 times for you to make the decision to change the way you do things. The best time is probably a year ago. The second best time is right now. You can say, one day, I'm gonna fix everything and really turn this around. Or you can say, today is day 1 of me making that choice. With that being said, there again is the QR code if you want to check out the Facebook Ads MBA program, where I teach everything that I've ever learned over, a couple billion in revenue driven and wasting hundreds of millions of people's of businesses money making mistakes. Because Lord knows I'm not perfect. Designing how the Facebook ad platform works hand in hand with Facebook's engineering team back when there was only 1 rep west of the Mississippi River to today. And with that being said, if nobody's told you today they love you, I love you. I know you could be literally anywhere on the internet right now and you chose to be here, and for that I want to say thank you. And until next time, I'll see you